Morning, guys. This is David. We're chilling with David Shan. Today, I'm going to go through my steps on smoking a pork butt in my Masterbuilt analog smoker. So, what I'm about to go through first is kind of the beginning steps of what I do when I smoke it. I always trim the fat cap off a little bit. Don't like too much fat in the pork. A lot of the fat will burn off, but you want a little bit of fat for the moisture because the meat's so dense. So I'm going to start by just trimming, like I said, the fat cap off. It's hard to do this sometimes without, getting a little bit of the meat, and that's okay. This is about a 7.5 pound butt. I don't like to go any larger than that, just because of the length it needs to cook, and to me it just, you want it to cook slow, and it's already on my method is it's about an hour a pound. So what we're gonna do once we get this thing trimmed, we're going to smoke it on about 160 degrees until the internal temperature gets at about 160, 165, which should be about 5 to 6 hours. And then we'll take it off and wrap it, and then we'll cook it for another hour or two until we get the internal temp up to about 200 degrees. So, like I said, this is about a 7.5 pound butt. I don't like to go any bigger than that, just for time wise, and to be honest with you, it just has more fat on it the bigger you get. So, and again, all I'm doing here is just trimming some of the outer layers of the fat cap off here. Boy, that looks good. Yeah, and this is the meat side of the butt. So this is not going to take as much to trim. There is a little bit of deep layer fat that we're just going to cut out of here. Everybody like Morgan Wallen in the background. Nothing like a little Morgan Wallen while you're trimming your butt. You know what I mean? My old buddy Barry is watching this. Hopefully he'll approve of the process here. So looks like we're about done here. I'm gonna trim just a little bit more, and then we'll start seasoning the butt. All right, guys, so we got the butt pretty much trimmed at this stage. Now we're going to start with a rub. My rub is a concoction of my own kind of personal ingredients, but we want to first, by putting a barrier on it, this helps the rub stick and bind to the meat. I like to use Dijon mustard and regular mustard. It's my base. A lot of people just use mustard. I think that's the most common thing is mustard. But I like using kind of both, just for the simple fact that the Dijon gives a little bit more of a spice and more of that horsey sauce, radish. I call it horsey radish. But anyway, the Dijon part of it gives it a little bit more of a flavor. Most of this flavor of the mustard you won't even taste in the butt. It's just used, like I said, it's an additive to help the rub stick to the butt. So, but you want to make sure you cover the entire butt with this. To make sure that you get enough evenly. And like I said, you really can't put too much of this, as this is mostly burnt off anyway. But you just want to make sure that you get it all over it. You got to rub that butt down, as I like to say. Get inside all of these areas. All right, looks like that's pretty good, guys.
You know what?
All right, so now, once we get this butt good and rubbed up with our mustard, we're gonna start with my rub. And like I said, I make my own rubs. I ordered these containers off of Amazon, and I just made me a big batch of rub. And it, you know, pretty much the basics of it is paprika, brown sugar. I use a lot of kosher salt, pepper, ground fresh pepper, and a couple of my special sauces and seasonings. So can't tell you all the secrets, man. But anyway, now let's rub this butt. Let's rub this butt down. And like I said, you really can't put too much of the rub on here. We good heavenly amount of rub. Yeah. Pat it down a little bit, as a lot of it will come out in clumps, but that's okay too. You can just rub them down, they'll break apart. And like I said, everybody has their own theory. Smoking's down here we're in Georgia, so a lot of smoking is a pretty big thing down here in Georgia. Everybody's got their own concept, own personal way of doing things. This is just mine. Like I said, it's been something that's I've done now for several years, and seems to go well. Everybody seems to like it, so. All right, guys, so we got the butt all rubbed up, ready to go. Again, my master built, this is a master built 3-rack smoker. Phenomenal. Pluses and minuses of it. The pluses of it, it's pretty consistent, smokes pretty consistent. I use nothing but wood. Today we're using apple and cherry wood in the smoker. And like I said, we'll smoke it again for about 6 hours, and then we'll wrap it for an hour. But the internal temperature, we need to get it up to about 160 degrees before we wrap it. So I use a Govee digital meat thermometer. It's just magnetized. I just pop it on the meat thing here, and then it's got the probes that come with it. It's pretty consistent. It's Bluetooth, so you can hook it up to your phone. That way, if you're around the house or whatever, you can kind of monitor your meat temperatures and all that. I randomly come down here about every hour to check it, just to make sure that nothing's come unplugged and nothing's not where it needs to be. So, all right, so we're gonna plop her in the smoker. And like I said, we'll smoke this thing for about 160 degrees for about an hour. I'll take that back for about. All right.
About what? You said you take that back what?
For about 6 hours, about an hour a pound is what it rolls out to be. So right now we're at about 150 degrees. So it'll climb up. I just turned the heat up a little bit. So again, it's 39 degrees internally meat temperature. We got to get that up to about 160. Once we get that up to 160, we'll take it out. We'll wrap it up in foil real tight. And then we'll put it back in the smoker until the internal temp gets up to about 200. 200 degrees is prime for the butt. From that point forward, we'll check back in. we'll get her off the smoker, take the foil out, we'll wrap it with sauce. We'll put it back in for about an hour just to let the sauce, the barbecue sauce, and I'll show you what sauce I use at that time. And then she'll be ready to go. So hopefully the butt turns out like it does, and we'll be checking back later. So, hey guys, this is David back again, chilling with Dave and Shan, and picking up where we left off. Last time we talked, I was putting the butt in the smoker. That was about 9:30 this morning, 10 o'clock. The butt's at 171 degrees internal temp, which I wanted it to get to about 170. So it's been about 5.5 hours, which is about right. We're fixing to take it out of the smoker, put it on some foil, wrap it up in foil, putting it back in the smoker. Smoke's really not in a big thing at that point because it's going to be wrapped, so it's more of the internal heat that we want versus the smoke. So we're going to crank the heat up on this thing till about 200 degrees. We'll get the butt up to about 200 degrees, 205 internal temperature. Then we'll take her out, let her rest, and see how it looks from there. So let's get this thing out of the smoker, put it on some foil, wrap her up, and see what we got. All right, guys, back again. Just got the butt wrapped. Got my probe in here. Like I said, we're going to shoot it up, try to get that internal temp up to about 200 degrees. It's falling off the bone now, so that's telling me that it's where it needs to be. Coming back with a fresh do in between times. Nifty old head, so just again, fresh do here. But all right, so let's get this thing back in the smoker. Let's crank the heat up and get that internal temp up to about 200 degrees and see what we got. So we're gonna throw it in, put that thing on the smoker. And again, we're gonna crank this heat up. But we'll set the temp on my GoV digital thermometer. We're gonna change the temp from 170 up to 205. And once we get this, we're gonna crank this heat up. And again, not worried about the smoke as much as we are the temp. The foil really don't let the smoke in there, so there's really no purpose to smoke it at this stage. It's just all about the heat. But next time we get this thing open at 200 degrees, we'll get that bone out, and then we'll take it on into the chopping board. So hopefully everything goes well. All right, guys, welcome back. This is the last segment of the Boston butt smoking vlog. Just got the butt off the smoker. Let it rest. It's been resting since about 4 o'clock. So we're gonna open it up, check it out, see how she looks, and hopefully tastes good and all is well. So we're going to unwrap it from the foil. Biggest way to tell if a butt is cooked all the way through is the bone. The bone should pull out fairly easily from the meat, which this is the bone here, and it's still extremely hot. So as you can see, burning my hands up because it's still hot. But anyway, there's the bone come out pretty good. So butt looks good. Like I said, it's good and smoked. Gonna try a piece. Butt is fantastic. A little bit of a smoke ring, a little bit of a bark. But there again, that's it. That's David's smoked butt on the Masterbuilt analog smoker. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helps you. If not, too bad. This is what I do. This is how I do it. Like, subscribe. Till next time.